literally almost tripped on this board as you said that.
I was watching through and like doing
For the bit.
Nice new start.
Yeah, break my computer just for the bit. I'll commit. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to PowerPoint Karaoke. If you are feeling parched and during now or at any point during these presentations, may I please direct you to our Star Fridge, where we are selling a variety of delicious soda, on-brand sodas, for only $1. So if you're thirsty, buy a Star soda. That's our new slogan. All right, next week is Making Sense of Metal Gear, mission run by me, you shall come. It's specifically set around people who have no idea what's happening in the Metal Gear universe, so that includes people who haven't or have played the games, because they're very confusing. And we're going to try to explain it all coherently. It'll be a lot of fun. Show up.
Oh, you got a question?
Yes.
Will you explain about how hands are able to take over people's minds?
Come to the mission to find out. All right. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, our away mission. We are not pre-selling tickets to this, but if you show up at 5 p.m. in the SAU lobby on Friday, December 15th, we will carpool you to the 7 p.m. showing. So you can either pre-purchase your tickets, that is for the 7 p.m. showing at Regal Henrietta, or you can risk it and try to get them at the door. You can just do that through the Regal Henrietta website. Book Club has just recently started a new book, Caves of Steel. So now's a great time to get involved with the book club. If you haven't yet, they're just a couple of chapters in now at this point. So it's going to be pretty easy to play catch up and get along with everyone else. Yes, book club.
We are 6 chapters in.
6 chapters in. So if I wanted to show up at the next book club meeting, where in the book would I need to be up to date?
Chapter 9, probably.
Chapter 9, probably. Lots of confidence there. PR committee. This is where we make a lot of the advertising materials for the club. We have already finished making the posters for the remainder of the mission, so we've refocused now to doing things for Starfest. So if you really like the whole old comics, superhero aesthetic sorts of things, or if you have some cool ideas for PR stunts or whatnot, definitely come to our meeting at 8 p.m. in SAU 2740, which is right around the corner there. Because we're always trying to brainstorm Starfest in things that will get people's attention. So you're a person whose attention we potentially want to get. Come by and tell us what would get your attention. Starfest committee as a whole, if you want to help out in a way that isn't particularly PR, or if you want just even more PR help, you can come to our major Starfest committee meeting. Those are at 12 p.m. in the SAU Mosaic Room, which is a little bit further down around the corner. And so we need help doing lots of important stuff for that, organizing screenings, establishing music for the dance at the end, and getting games for the game room. So amongst many other things, you can sign up specifically for the subcommittees that you want, and you don't have to touch the ones that you're not interested in. So we still need plenty of hands in this. Please stop by, give us a hand. We're always looking for new faces. We can get you up to speed really quickly and put you forth doing meaningful work. Webmaster Committee this is an on Sunday for them. It means first and third Sunday. So to get some web dev experience if you don't have any, or to show off some cool tricks that you know for our very own Star website, the Webmaster Committee. So more details in that will be in your email. T-shirts. We've got great Star shirts for sale. That is $10 for members, $15 for non-members. I think Zachary is wearing his wonderful Star T-shirt. Is anybody else wearing theirs today? No? All right, well, at least we have one this week, unlike last week where nobody had theirs.
Wait, or no, Freyo's.
Oh, Alex also has his Star shirt on. Why didn't you stand up when I called for the Star shirts?
I was talking about Star Wars to Noah, okay?
We'll talk about Star shirts to everyone. Yes, very comfy, very form-fitting, kind of made with the finest materials that we could afford. They're great shirts, honestly, and $15 is a steal already. So if you remember, for $10, that's even more of a steal. Great shirt, great price, great fun. To keep up to date on all sorts of things Star, you can follow us on our various social media platforms. These links will be, once again, in your email, so you can join in on those. Much easier if you're there. And just a quick highlight of our Slack. Fantastic way to keep on top of all sorts of different fandoms and on top of things of Star as a whole. A couple other off presentation announcements for you guys is that Snowfest is this Saturday. We will be running Artemis pretty much all day during it. So this is not a call for volunteers. This is just asking you to come and hang out with us, fly your favorite spaceship bridge simulator, with us and enjoy Snowfest as a whole. Zachary, you had a plug that you'd like to plug?
Hey, Cameron.
Yes.
Is there another big event happening at Snowfest that a bunch of star members are involved in?
Yes, there is. That you would like to share with us about that thing that you mentioned?
I can show it to the live stream too.
Oh, wow, that is a nice full color poster.
For Snowfest attendees 18 and older, come to the Cosplay Troupe Chess Show. It is limited to attendees of Snowfest 18 and older. Oh, I can hold in the light part and then you can maybe see it better.
Yes.
So yeah, a bunch of people here, including Logan and Joe and Bobby and myself, are involved in it. It's one of two big shows that Cosplay Troupe puts on every year. There's one at Snowfest and one at Toricon. It's basically a giant chess game between where the pieces on the chessboard are a bunch of characters that you might know, including Charlie, aka Dayman.
Ah!
There we go. From Always Sunny, Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show, as well as others including the Joker, Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and Santa Claus. For the whole board and to see how it all plays out, you got to come to see it at Snowfest.
All right, thank you, Zachary. Another quick plug for everybody is that Hearts Like Fists, a show about superheroines doing super things, is in 2 weeks. Stop by on December 7th or 8th to see our very own captain as head of the Crime Fighters. Yes, the crime fighting team is called the Crime Fighters. I checked.
We like to be clear.
Yeah, I suppose that is very clear and unambiguous. All right, so finally, just a note to anyone who will be presenting, there are two things that you need to have when you come up here to make sure that the presentation goes as smoothly as possible. First of which is this very nice clicker right here that I'm going to give you a brief tutorial on. First of all, you press the back button if you need to go back, and the forward button if you need to go forward. Also, up on the top, there's a little button that's going to be the laser pointer. We have a laser certified safety person in the room who has informed me that in order to use a laser safely, don't point it at people and don't point it outside. So once again, if you intend on using the laser, only point it at the screen. Do not point it at people and do not point it outside. This is from our laser certified technician in the room. Thank you, sir.
How the hell would we put it outside? With great difficulty.
Second of all, there is a lapel mic that you each are going to grab. It's got a clip on it, so just clip it to a belt loop, clip it to your shirt, whatever, and then another little mic that you just clip up on your collarbone. So very easy. Don't touch any of the buttons on this device. All the only buttons you touch are on this device. So yes buttons, no buttons. Yes buttons, no buttons. Both of these devices, when you're done, please return them to the lectern in the back where Zachary is standing, and so the next presenter can pick them up without problem. Yeah.
Are you using the microphone right now?
Yes, it is not going. It is not for the speakers in here.
Oh, it's for the.
Yeah. So otherwise, I believe that is all. So I will hand it over to Zachary from the back.
So I'll just say this from here because you're staying up there.
What an unexpected twist.
So if you haven't seen PowerPoint karaoke before, I took some years of Japanese, sue me. It's an event, I believe it was originally done at RIT by the Society of Software Engineers. If you don't know them, they're a cool group. They have a room in the first floor of the Golisano building, which is like all the way past the other end of the quarter mile. Cool people. And we thought it was so cool that we stole it from them with some amount of permission. Borrowed.
Lovingly ripped off.
Lovingly ripped off. And
It's a tribute.
And it turns out a bunch of nerds like presenting PowerPoints about random nerdy topics. If those of you who are members of Cosplay Troupe, they did their version of this event a few weeks back, and there was also a club-themed one at Nerdapolis. This is the same idea, except some of these are going to be more sci-fi themes. But all that's going to happen is presenters, if you signed up, when you signed in, if you click the yes button, then you are a potential presenter. You're going to be picked in a pseudo-random order. Random unless you ask me to go earlier. Be paired with a random deck of slides. You're going to go up there and you are now an expert on whatever your deck of slides says you are an expert on. And I'm going to leave this while I swap laptops. So Cameron can tell us what topic he has been researching thoroughly.
Okay, well, I like to keep a little bit of suspense of the audience, so I'm not going to reveal the exact topic as of yet, but I can assure you that I've spent literally my entire life studying this, like from birth onward. I was immediately submitted to this.
That's not it. Wait. Give it a minute.
And by this, I of course mean what will be here in the future. So, as my friends will attest, I am very good, and I'm going to teach you all how to also get good. As a presentation by somebody good, this is of course my working name in the field of getting good. Somebody good. We don't capitalize it because that is the goodest way to do so. So first of all, in order to get good, there are a few simple steps that you must follow. So the first of which is obviously you get good by getting good. So in order to be good, you must start good. There's no practice stage. If you don't excel immediately, you're never going to get good. Give up. So by getting good, you are now good. As mentioned, if you are not immediately just a paragon of whatever you're trying at, then just give up. You're awful. So how good is good? If you're trying something, you're like, I kind of got the hang of this, but I'm not sure. If you're not good, you'll never be good. So I'm going to go in a little bit more detail about what is good. So in brief, it's good. To elaborate a little bit more, to really go into just a brief page of my huge thesis is that the best way, or the most good thing I can say about being good is that it's good. So how good? But how good? We already know that good is good, but how good is good is good. So the thing about good is that one of the most difficult things about this topic, just a brief tangent, is that the most difficult thing to keep in mind is that good is a real word. And by repeating it over and over again, doesn't lose its value of being good. That's how good is. So I've just explained in a very wraparound way how good is good. Good, very good, the gooderiest. Well, questions at the end. So now that you're good, just starting something and just being the goodest. That's how I studied this my entire life, because from birth, I was like, I'm going to study being good. And I was good at it. So I kept doing it. And I've only gotten goodlier. So now that you are good, right, you've just started and you are good. So just continue being good. Show off to everyone how good you are. Invite your friends over who are not good, and then just be good. Just right, they don't have a choice but to watch you just be good. Laugh at them for not being good. And if they are good, congratulate them and invite them to your club of just being good. So I'd like to end this with my quote. This is regularly repeated around in some of the most highest theological circles of the Church of Goodology, which is not something that I particularly subscribe to. It's not good enough for me, but we'll touch on that perhaps next time. But overall, the most important thing to remember about being good is good. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cameron.
Where's the real one?
So I think we've got a rough idea of how this all works.
Did we ever get to find out who wrote it?
What?
Did we ever get to
Oh,
find out
this
who wrote
is,
it?
sorry, I should have said, to start off with, this was a classic from one of the first SSE PowerPoint karaoke events I attended. I do not recall off the top of my head who made that. It was several years ago. I'm old.
That is such a meme.
But that was nice. But now let's move on to one that is not old.
That is a really nice can.
Can you hand stuff off to our fearless captain?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Is this Rose again?
Everybody, I am an expert on bros. We learned this 2 years ago.
I do not know.
Stir? I don't know. How would I know that?
For the Rochester Board Gamers Association.
That's not what STIR stands for.
Oh boy, I have things to hold now. You can tell I'm a professional because my blazer, it has,
Are you
also
ready?
has. Of course I am. I'm an expert.
All right. 15
Oh, it does. Oh no.
Okay.
Space out.
Hey, because space. Okay, so now that we've established that I know what space is, I'm here to tell you It's an important question that often plagues this club. Is it sci-fi? Is it not sci-fi? Do we care? The answer is very much. Sometimes, but very much. So there are different ways to look at sci-fi. So I want to press. Oh boy, buttons. Buttons are a way to tell if something is sci-fi, but we'll get into that later, maybe next time if we have some time. But first way to tell if something is sci-fi. Well, this is the original method. It's a good way to tell if it has bees, it's sci-fi. If you think about it, you look at Doctor Who. They got bees in Doctor Who. The bees go missing. Where'd they go? Sci-fi. That's where they went. It's bees. But the old method is only so reliable now, because now we have other things in sci-fi. Like, have you considered, what is your favorite sci-fi, sir?
Star Wars.
Does Star Wars have bees?
No.
That's a newfangled sci-fi with no bees, but it's still sci-fi. And see, with the establishment of Star Wars not having bees, which was monumental for its time, it really was a huge step out of the original bee-verse of sci-fi, because the joke is dead. And Star Wars realized this. The brand new Star Wars that maybe some of you have heard of does not have bees because it is the new sci-fi, not the old way. The new way, bears. So as we know, Star Wars, it's got bears. Lots of bears. But they use their bears in an interesting way. Like, they make them alien bears. There are multiple alien bears in Star Wars. Oh no, there are Wookiees, they're like bears. There are Ewoks, they're kind of like bears. My dog looks like an Ewok, she looks kind of like a bear. This is the new way of telling if something is sci-fi. Bears. So now, as we know, sci-fi is bears. Think about your favorite sci-fi. New sci-fi. To be clear, your old sci-fi has bees, your new sci-fi has bears. Think about it. Your new sci-fi has bears in it if you look for them. It's got lots of bears. So there are pros and cons about bears. So bears beat up bees easily. Like, bear is like this tall, a bee is like this tall. A bear steps on it, no more bee. Yes, more bee, but like squished. Also, a bear is typically smarter than a bee. Unless it's Winnie the Pooh, but that is old sci-fi, not new sci-fi. So that's different. Also, bears don't like jazz.
What?
I can't read it.
Don't have to do it.
Okay, bears, it doesn't matter if they like jazz or not. Because if they do, they're not using that as a prop. Because there's so much more to bears than liking jazz.
So smooth.
Bears are smooth, unlike bees. They're pointy. And there are no cons to bears, because, like, they're bears. They are soft. Soft is good. They do not need jazz, which is cool, except for, like, Jazz Got Brought Back. I saw that SNL skit where Jazz got brought back, or La La Land. Jazz was saved, apparently. That's cool. Good job. But bears, they don't need jazz. Because they're like bears, which is awesome. So bears do drip into the old sci-fi as well, because there was something about old sci-fi that bees defined it, but bears were still there. And bears were the driving force that made it good. And new sci-fi is where bears really took center stage. So, for example, you get classic robot bear sci-fi. This is a really, really old sci-fi. Like, it's okay if you haven't heard about it. But it's got lots of bears, and that's how you can tell it's sci-fi. Spaceballs has a bear. So even in satirical sci-fi, they know. It's because Star Wars started the new sci-fi. So, of course, in the spoof of it, it's got to have bears. Godzilla also had bears. That one. But, like, closer to there, but not that close, because like, bear doesn't need to fight a giant lizard. The bear's still good. The bear's a bear. Doesn't need to fight. The bears bring peace, except when they don't. Lots of bears, guys. So many bears. You can see the bear influences in how they are tall and furry and soft. This one is like a teddy bear. Or my dog. She also looks like a bear. She's not a bear, though, or maybe she's just a short one. And of course, the most important sci-fi movie of our age, possibly of any age, Bear Force One. It has at least one bear. Bear one. One bear, and it has force. Bears. Sci-fi. But most importantly, of course, I don't think it even needs saying, but just because sports has bears, we've taken them over, we win. Thank you. Yes, question?
What about science fiction like Power Rangers that has bees and bears?
Well, I already said, bears were already in the sci-fi with the bees, but like, you don't need the bees after a while. The bees are just a crutch. You got a problem back there?
It's a bee. It's not.
He's too into the bees. He's not into the future of sci-fi. Thank you. Next person.
Next on the list, Chris. How much do you know? Hold on. How much do you know about Pokemon? You seem uncertain. Excellent.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, go. Get up there. The optimal amount is enough to not just replace the content of the presentation with the test. This just tends not to be as fun.
I'm gonna actually.
Oh, okay, Chris, what you said?
Everybody just a bee.
That is something in that entire presentation.
Yeah, let me sure that I'm on the list.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Yes, of course. Welcome everyone tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you all took time out of your busy schedules to talk about Pokemon. This is about introduction. It is all about an introduction. So, the first thing you need to know about the Pokemon universe is it takes place entirely within the Eiffel Tower. And it's not exactly the Eiffel Tower. There was like some copyright issues. So they made it look like this instead of the normal shape that we associate with the Eiffel Tower. Of course. So that's important. In the Eiffel Tower, there are these, they're called Pokemon. And they're these little robots that run around and try to shoot lightning at you. It is a deep metaphor for the times of our age. Lightning, as for Pokemon, is a problem for us in our daily lives. The solution to lightning: rabbits. Now bear with me. Rabbits can control the planet with their minds. That's enough said about that. Sometimes the rabbits are not quite good enough. Sometimes the lightning hurts us anyway. The lightning could be the problems that we're struggling with in our daily lives, or the politics that we hear about in the news. Sometimes the robots just overwhelm us and use their jazz hands to incapacitate us. But we need to be nice to the robots.
so confused.
This robot is named Nurse Joy. Even though Nurse Joy is disapproved of by the masses, she still has found her way in this world, and we should appreciate that. Here, there are two of them. That's cool. So in the middle, there's this one really weird episode in Pokemon where they're in the Eiffel Tower and they all get really hungry. A big platter of food inside of this. It sort of just flows down from the heavens. It's a really weird religious overtones anyway. There you have it. Nope, there's more. People can be Pokemon too. There's 3 of them. Gotta catch them all. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much, Chris. Next up, can you hand the check off to Joe?
Oh, hi.
Sorry.
Microphone switch?
It's just that they're gonna have to ocean.
Hello,
Hello.
I am Joe. I'm an expert on something. What is it?
Can you go roll?
Definitely not good.
It's probably not the ocean. It's probably not Muppets. This is too obvious. I'm an expert on getting inspired. Because inspiration is great. Making that move like that took a lot of inspiration. Why am I up here talking to you good folks? Why? I don't know. Who let me come up here? That guy. That's him. It's simple, really. What? See, according to this chart, before I got up here to speak, you were all sad. As time has gone on, your enjoyment has increased. And that is why I am up here talking to you good folks, to make you happy. And and this is an example, without inspiration, you do not name your charts. So do it. Have the inspiration. Name your charts. Don't be like I was on that slide. That's an example. That's not what you should do. That was an example of what not to do. Step 1. Is to listen to this inspirational story that I will share with you. Back in the 1700s, there were space whales roaming the sky. But then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Hello, Brown.
What is happening? Oh, luckily, a team of inspired doctors were there to save the whales from the Fire Nation, using the power of a robot hand and some sort of blue goo that was just thrown over the whales as a healing powder to help them regain their numbers. And then they went out and celebrated. The job well done, because that's what you do when you are inspired. Steep 2, and it is steep. It is a very steep step. It takes a long time. You need to be very inspired to get through this. Know your true mind. Know you are true mind. You are the mind. You are the source of the inspiration. Beauty is in the mind of the beholder, and you are the mind and the beholder. You behold your mind, and you are the one who gives it inspiration. It ain't over till it's over. You can save those whales. Do not give up.
When you come to a fork of the road, you take it, you just pull it right out of the ground, and then you go use it to eat your spaghetti or something. The future ain't what it used to be. It can change. The future is malleable. It can be bent. It can be turned into whatever you want it to be if you are inspired enough to do so. And if you have the proper fork. And you know it. You already know it. You don't need me telling you this. If you are inspired enough, you already know that you can change your future. I know it too, which is why I'm here telling you. So, just with it. Just with it. What a pretty background. There we see a cousin of the space whale, happy and flying in the sky again, thanks to those great scientists. Step 3, list of things that make me happy. Because happy is better than happy. Swimming is good. Yes, it is. That is not even like the PowerPoint karaoke be speaking. Yes, me as the actual me says swimming is good. That is not even part of this joke. I assure you I don't know where this is going. Yes! You got any more? That was good too. And dogs. That is all you need to know. That is all you need to get inspired. Swimming and This is another guy who's inspired by swimming and dogs. Now don't be inspired. Use the power of swimming and dogs and go save the space whales with blue goo and have a party. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, pay attention to Claire. She has a quick announcement.
Someone left their ID in the front. It's a Connor Egbert. Are they here? Did they leave their ID?
Cornmancer?
That's what it says.
No, it's different.
Connor Egbert.
Oh,
No, maybe the bathroom?
Possibly. We'll make another announcement later then. Or if you know a Connor Egbert, yeah, their ID.
That's the Cornman's full name. I didn't see him here.
Well, he wanted to be here in spirit, so
Yes.
really doesn't get
Okay. Who made that presentation?
I'm sure you made half of it, Joe.
Very well done. Very well done.
You're typing really fast on purpose. Did you make that presentation? Joe?
I don't know yet.
For the record, Joe, I basically skim like titles and title slides when assigning these to people. It's mostly random, so I had no idea the dolphin or the swimming was in there. All right. Anyway, next up we have Noah.
I have no idea what this is gonna be like.
Terrible.
Look. Good. Count the notes.
This is my meeting.
Oh my God!
I am not Noah. I am actually Ed. A lot of people don't know that about me, but it's my middle name, and I prefer to go by that one. I have a unibrow. You can't really see because I'm standing in the dark, but you can look at this picture. And I wear striped shirts sometimes. And pants. Everybody likes pants. A lot of personality. You can tell because I do all these wacky things like that. And passing out on the ground and drooling a lot, I think. I don't really remember. Friendship. I got a lot of friends. Eddie. That's Eddie right there. One of us Karen. It's actually Eddie. And that's Double D. It's him right there. Yeah. I got a sister. She's kind of annoying sometimes, but she doesn't have a unibrow. Actually, she doesn't have a brow. It's something that separates us genetically. I think she might be adopted. Chickens. I like chickens. I eat a lot of eggs, so I grow my own chickens. And, eat their eggs. Buttered toast. I really like toast. This doesn't have anything to do with chickens. I also have a wheat farm where I make bread, because bread's great. And I make toast. I know Cameron's always looking for a place to buy toast.
Who's Cameron?
I know Eddie's always looking for a place to buy toast, but I actually make my own. I was a moose once. That's from my past lives. I believe in reincarnation. Yes, double D. But I forget what the elephant remembered. I said that to my friend once.
Very inspirational. Very inspirational.
Do you smell buttered toast? Yes, because I always have buttered toast on me in my pockets. Those aren't rabbits. Those are bunnies. It's a common mistake. Bunnies are actually adult rabbits. Love is like an onion because something to do with ogres. The jokes rank themselves. Am I the last human? I am alone. I am hungry. That's why I always keep buttered toast in my pocket. Some notable moments about my life. I turned into a bed once as a science experiment, and I slept a lot. I really like sleep, so I figured, why not just become sleep and skip all the waking parts? Yeah, you have a question.
Ed, what are we doing in that picture on the middle right?
We're being bros. The zombie ones, and that's not buttered toast actually. That's what an egg looks like, and that's why. Beware of imposters. That's not me. In case you can't tell, this is me. We see a side-by-side comparison. In conclusion, I'm very pure. I would die for my son. That I have many of. And I'm very talented. You can see that I am very good at pretending I have a mustache. Thank you.
Okay. But next off, can you hand that off to Elania?
Eliana.
Eliana, I'm sorry.
Also not Eliana. No, it's Eliana.
Eliana.
You're gonna have me presenting a PowerPoint. The least
I'm
you can do
really
is get my
sorry.
name right on the official roster or whatever. I don't know.
No, I'm really sorry. I should really have
it's
that down.
So, is this right way up or is this right way up?
The arrows to the top.
Arrows to the top.
All right. You
And
ready?
go right to go forward?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Oh no.
so guys,
Oh boy.
I am quite possibly the world's foremost expert on Jim Henson and Marvel Studios' Thor Ragnarok. And I'm here to talk to you today about a variety of things, including, but not limited to, rocks and whatever the hell a Fraggle is. Excuse me, whatever the heck a Fraggle is. I'm pretty sure this is being live streamed. Oh, also, I think that's an ABC logo, maybe?
It is.
BAC?
Yeah, it is one.
Sponsored by ABC or something. This is Thor Gobson. No, he is not actually Thor Odinson. That is a falsity perpetrated by the people who want you to believe that Fraggles have nothing to do with this movie. So, he is a leader and explorer of the outer space planets. He likes to play guitar a lot. So he controls lightning, but he calls it thunder. This is because Fraggles do not perceive light and sound the same way that humans and Aesir and whatever the heck do. And he is simultaneously Canadian, Norwegian, and from outer space. Now, see, here's the thing. This guy is Moki Loki, and I could have sworn that said Moki Loki at first reading. He's a hippie. I mean, with hair like that, could you be not a hippie? That is textbook hippie hair. I am so sorry. The mom friend. As we all know, Moki Loki really, really loves his mom, and no, not like that. To be honest, I'm not sure what being the mom friend means. I just parroted it off the wiki, but neither here nor there. A very big troublemaker, as you can see by the
asteroids falling from the sky and the weird blue thing up here. And I don't know if that's blood or just soot, but yeah, he's a troublemaker. And he is afraid of the Jolly Green Giant because he really hates beans. This is the Incredible Bluebird. No, get your mind out of the gutter. He is green. Jolly Green Giant's third cousin, in case you weren't aware. He does chores for fun, because he's a nerd. It's germs, dirt, puny gods. Minuscule gods he's fine with, but the puny ones are awful. Oh, well. Bouncy Red. She's the athletic one. And plants really hate her for some reason. I can only assume it has to do with how much alcohol she's dumped on them over the years. Like, you know, she chugs the bottle, she misses like a third of it, and then she throws the glass. She has a really high tolerance. Like, she could probably empty Tony Stark's liquor cabinet in a night and be fine.
Our trivia cabinet.
And most importantly, and here's the thing, plug your ears if you don't want spoilers. She can read minds! Wait, no, hang on, that's spoilers for Fraggle Rock, not Thor. My apologies. Wait, no, that's just what the people who want you to believe these are two separate movies are trying to make you believe. Don't fall for it. It's actually spoilers for Thor Fraggle Rock. Anyway, this is Uncle Traveling Odin, who, for all he's supposed to only have 2 ravens, has at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this photo. Maybe 6, depending on if that's bird wings or just a weird shadow. He's not around a lot, but he loves to send postcards. From places including but not limited to a city street and then a field that is also the same city street after they redo the trailer. He is king of the gods and the all Fraggle. Now that's not to say that all Fraggles are his. It's more to say that he is, in some strange metaphorical way that I'm not entirely clear on, connected to all the Fraggles. This comes in handy a lot when he needs to get a postcard back he doesn't know where he currently is. Korg the Gorg. But no, not the Gorg from the movie Home. Completely different Gorg. Jokes aside, this one actually seems like it could be from Fraggle Rock. And there's a reason for that! It's all a conspiracy, man! They want you to think it's not the same movie. Well, yes. Thank you for stating the obvious. I was just getting to that. Of course he's an actual rock. Judging by the picture, I'd say he's igneous.
I feel still just looking at him.
Or fruits, because apparently he eats organic matter. So that's a thing. And he really has a thing about wheelbarrows, I guess. The Grand Loser! Probably immortal and has probably been around since about the beginning of the universe, and or the last one. Wait, no, never mind, that's DC. He pits fighters from different universes against each other. Wow, he totally ripped off our Thunderdomes. Sometimes they're actually from the same universe, but that's not to say he doesn't get fighters from multiple universes. It's just to say he doesn't get only one fighter from a given universe. He likes to build with doozer sticks and or weird geometry block things that look like they're from a 70s comic. Oh wait. May or may not be related to the Collect Smurf. The doggo. There we go. Is actually a good dog, even if the other characters don't think so. Is he a good boy? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Didn't do anything wrong. He just wants to play. Really, truly. Why can't you play with a nice doggo? can see it. It influences your face. Owner is kind of important too, but like, I'm talking comics owner or live action owner or conspiracy theory owner. It's complicated. That's 4 Fraggle Rock, everybody.
All right, thank you very much. Here, you can leave it here for a second. I forgot to say at the start, someone left a note on the lectern asking, yeah, I have no PowerPoint, but I'm here to sing, and unfortunately the response from the bridge crew is this isn't musical karaoke. It's people presenting PowerPoints they've never seen before, but you're still more than welcome to participate. Out of the way, Matthew O'Haran.
I've been studying for this one for a very long time. I just got my PhD on our brand new overlords, cats. So as we all know, just from basic history classes, that before cats, we were all trapped in darkness, but then they came and they saved us. We gave them pets ourselves, taking the role. And they are soft, and that softness is so high, in fact, that it becomes radioactive and has caused multiple conflicts between several nations in the world. Yeah. Here, those are its eyes. Cat. The red dot. The red dot was a serious turning point in cat history. It is the cat's main enemy, contrary to popular belief, against the dog. Skipping ahead. Hate the dot, kill the dot. And here's our notable hero, Mittens the Wise, who not only found the red dot originally, but continued to bat at it. And then was surprised after it batted at it and lifted its paw and saw that it wasn't there. So, now that the cats have taken over, what is your role in this new society? We have a few options. First of which is to kitty pet. If you are taking this role, it is important to remember that while kitty petting, you can only do it 2 or 3 times, or else the cat will get very upset and will start gnawing your hand. That is a fact. Second thing you need to remember, when you're trying to pick, one of the options that you have is that you can open food cans. Now, it's not necessarily the food that the cats like about this, it's simply opening the cans. Cats will come to you, but then they'll stare at the food and sniff it and then consider eating it, but won't actually. Popular option is box construction. Cats like hiding in boxes and staring at one of the corners in the boxes for long periods of time. So, continuing that last point, our cat overlords wishes to exit through the door. You must, of course, open the door for the cat, even if the cat is going to be indecisive about whether or not it wants to be inside the house or outside the house, or inside the house or outside the house. So let's, on that note, what do you believe we should do while they're being indecisive? A, encourage our cat overlord to go outside. B, encourage our cat overlord to stay inside in your presence. C, close the door until our cat overlord makes a decision. Or D, gratefully hold the door open until our cat overlord makes a decision. Any answers?
C.
I'm afraid that's wrong, and in fact, that would instantly send you to cat overlord Siberia. Instantly, no trial, no nothing.
Good to know.
E, distract the cat overlord from the decision with treats.
I don't think they have laws about that one. Treats will not be turned down, I'm sure, though. But of course, the correct answer was D, because if you're not waiting on your cat, you're doing it wrong. Oh, here. Here's the same problem, but with green text. And a second red dot. This is another cat. Okay, second question. Our cat overlord has scratched you during the pets. What do you do? Give your overlord an apologetic pat? Live a life of soul-searching solitude until you understand what you did wrong. Accept your fate. Or request to not be scratched until the future. Go for it.
B.
Live a life of soul-searching solitude until you understand what you did wrong. That is an acceptable answer. You will not be sent to Siberia. However, you're still ignoring the main issue of the point, which is the cat. The cat has not yet been satisfied, clearly. So if you're not focusing on the cat in your answer, you are not answering correctly. Any other answers?
Hazard a guess. D.
Request to not be scratched in the future. Making requests from the cat is always wrong. Always wrong. Any other guesses?
You should just accept your fate and let the cat scratch you whenever it wants. C.
Yes. Yes, you must, of course, accept your fate. If the cat wants to scratch your hand, that hand is no longer your own. That becomes the cat's hand. I'm gonna name this one Pablo, I think. Another question, apparently. Our cat overlord's kitty toy has been broken. What do you do? Us. B, fix the toy. C, present our cat overlord with an acceptable new kitty toy. Or D, all of the above are acceptable.
D. D.
Oh, D.
Yes, always all the above.
It is always all of the above. That's another cat principle. I'm feeling a teddy here. That feels right. But yes, you must feel the loss of the toy, fix the toy after that, and then to make up for that small period of time where the cat did not have the toy, you must present it with a new toy. Our cat overlord has decided to walk across your keyboard and sit like that when it typed out the word sat. What do you do? A, encourage our cat overlord to move. B, patiently wait for our cat overlord to grant you access to the keyboard. Our cat overlord 2I0398. This is the 79L. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Good is good. I'm gonna name this one. Let's go. Any
Regiment.
Peaches.
Douglas.
Peaches. Yeah. There we go. Yes, that is the one. You must always remember to appease them, or else they will start. Oh no!
We did it!
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Excellent work.
No sending out the PowerPoint.
It occurred to me I should
with this by now.
It occurred to me I should amend the previous announcement. You may sing if you like, but it must be in the form of a PowerPoint. Now, having said that, can we get? Wait, no, that's the next one. Jacob.
Sat.
Sorry, I'm not a Pokemon.
Hello, my name is Jacob, and I am the world's greatest expert on princesses. We all know that there are so many of these, just so many. It's impossible to cover them all in the span of a short PowerPoint. So unfortunately, we're going to have to abridge this. I am sorry. I know how much you all love this, and you want to hear as much as you possibly can, but it has to be done. This is Hortensia. She was the first Disney princess appearing alongside Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which was Walt Disney's first creation. She is a cat, which means that since, as we all know, cats are our overlords, she is the first and the greatest and the leader of all Disney princesses. This is Ellen Way, Elon Musk. She has a name, and it begins with E and has W in it. She is a princess. She lives in a castle and does princess stuff. This is also a princess. You see, when we think of ants, we don't usually think of princesses. We know they have queens, but they don't have kings. We don't really know how their royalty works. But we have seen in the movie Ants that they do in fact, and they wear crown, like, I don't know how to work the laser pointer, but they wear crowns like that, and it's cool. Harry is also a princess. She is a slightly different kind of princess, but still a princess. Now, not everyone gets to be a princess. There are only so many princesses that not everybody who would make a good princess gets the chance to be one. See, we know that Thor and Loki, Thor is a prince, Loki is also a prince. They're both, Loki is the son of the king of the frost giants, Thor is Odin's son, and they're princes, but they would make better princesses. This to be true, from their personalities, from the way that we've seen them. See, I was there when this happened. This happened with no coordination between the two people. Everyone knows that these two people would be the greatest non-princess people who would be princesses. That this happened. And see, this person is good. Oops. This is sci-fi class. But wait. There are princesses in science fiction. This is Eve. When we saw her in the movie, she wasn't a princess. She was just a robot sent to this planet to explore and see if she could find life, which she did. And after that, she eventually became a princess when she and Wally were elected to become the leaders of this new world by the humans they had saved. This is a blue person. Apparently a princess. What was that?
From the Buzz Lightyear movie, you know.
Okay. So yeah, Buzz Lightyear movie contains princesses, and this is a princess from Buzz Lightyear. And of course, the greatest, the goddess, Miss is the greatest of all of the princesses. You would think that, well, she's a pig. How can she be a princess? Well, some king or prince likes that. And cool.
All right, can you hand that off to Michael Cooper, please? Thank you very much, Jacob.
French or am I looking in? Am I going to look at? How do I start with
It's
the
not on
laser?
yet.
Oh, there we go. We're
All right.
PowerPoint setup.
Are you ready, sir?
Ready on for me. I am totally an expert at modern office design. Like, I've read books, I've read self-help books, I saw TED Talks, I even once visited an office. Let's see what I've learned. We need modern technology, modern data processing for the whole office. Like, I've seen offices where they have entire floors devoted to data processing. Google, for example, has a whole city devoted to data processing. And I hear that IBM is working on an island continent of data processing around the size of Australia. How else would you be able to get that big data? So if you don't have at least one building devoted to data processing of your entire campus, then you clearly do not have what it takes to survive in the modern world of business. Yeah?
About how many acres is one big data?
Teraacre, 1 teraacre.
How about a thick acre?
Yeah?
Which RIT building is devoted to data processing?
It's the secret one. You see, there's a building actually built deep into the ground underneath the tunnels on dorm side, where they do all the data processing. But because of the radiation, that causes problems for the people who still live in dorms. That's why I moved to Park Point almost immediately.
That's why we're short on housing. Wait, is that why you can't take the tunnels from dorms to academic side?
Well, you actually can. They're just keeping it a secret.
There's all the data in the way.
Yeah, all the data. Yes?
Is this how Tesla operates the weather machine?
Oh my god.
There's a difference between data and weather. I mean, we all know that all weather systems are technically alive because they have genetic information inside the clouds. But that's a different form of storing data. We're talking about digital data, while weather machines use genetic data. Any other questions?
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No. Am I allowed to put the pointer at his eyes?
No.
Keep going.
All right. But we also need modern technology. We need personal computer terminals. Like, see this technologically advanced terminal that has one color? One whole color. Like, back when my dad was a kid, he had to make do with 0.5 colors. It's black and a sort of grayish color. We also need these modern, popular luxury design. I mean, just look at those monitors. They're at exactly where your neck is going to be. So that way, this is a very ergonomic design. Like, this is exactly where you want the monitor to be if the keyboard is down here. And some of these monitors can actually extend it upwards. And if you ever want to go for one of those standing desks, well, now you can keep the keyboard at your feet and type with your feet and hold the monitor up to your face. And we also have this really small computer. This computer is about the size of an elephant. Very small. Any questions about computers?
What's an elephant?
It's a computer with a very high memory. Yeah?
What's your emotional connection to Fortran?
That's between me and my therapist. But we also need operating systems, such as the Apple Macintosh, Appleseed, Apple Pun. I had something in my head. Whatever this is, and whatever that, okay, it's called an Atari Jaguar. So, as we all know, the Atari Jaguar is perfect for word processing. It has the perfect controller interface for word processing, and will never go out of fashion, will never go out of style. Like, ever since Atari put that advertisement in Blade Runner, it's been on the up and up for them. Oh, and Apple, it's a little-known company. You're never going to hear from them ever again. All right, but we also need to be able to acquire data. Data is everything, yeah?
Sorry, I had a question about the previous slide.
Yes?
It says A is for Apple is the first thing I should know about personal computers. Does that mean when you have the guy that says I'm a Mac and the guy that says I'm a PC, the Mac is also a PC?
Ooh. Yeah, I love those commercials, by the way. Like, we have this one loser who can hardly get any work done, but for some reason presents himself as cool. And then we have this other person who really makes a lot of money, is successful and smart. We'll be happy in 20 years.
But apparently they're both personal computers.
Right, but one of them is pretentious art school students, and the other one makes money. Yeah.
Wow. Do you think that if the Mac users stop buying Macs, you can afford to sue?
Maybe. I think he's too far down. God. All right, but now back to acquiring data, because data is everything. What is the data? Unpack your ass. So every time you breathe, that's data point. Every time you cry, that's data. Squeeze your eye. Sorry, I forgot that song, but yeah, that's the data actually. So every single aspect of modern life is a data. Like, have you ever woken up in the morning and then you yawn? That's data points. And we need to be able to collate and aggregate all this data, and using devices like this thing and this thing and whatever this is, we can collect all this data together. But then we can do useful stuff with the data. Like, does anyone want to know about how many times people yawn per day on average?
I mean, I do now.
5.
Well, that's actually an industry secret with obvious business implications. I can't tell you. Yeah?
How many data make up an anonymous?
13. Yeah.
Who is the hacker 4chan?
Listen. He's hurt me in a very serious way, and I can't talk about it. All I just need to know is that it was me who removed his eye. All right, but we need to be able to get to the office using our personal car things. Like, look at this car. Look at how ergonomic it is. How it's easy. How there's plenty of leg room. Like, when you look at that car, think of all the leg room. And this car here, again, as you can all remember when I did that lecture on science fiction architecture, you can tell that this is the popular luxury design of cars. The most practical, meaningful, and not stupid and silly design of cars. And look at this intuitive steering device. You just steer with it. It's just so intuitive. And this car looks fairly okay, though rather like old-fashioned, I guess. Like, it looks like a person has a place to stick their knees other than their face. Yeah.
What are the safety features on the new urban car?
I'm glad you asked. Next slide. We also have these other cars, such as this bumper car.
No, it's an auto scooter car.
Auto scooter car. This is a car you can live in.
What?
Why
Yeah.
is she not wearing anything?
I don't know. But we can also use mass transportation, like a monorail, or a rocket, or a giant triple-decker bus by GM. Right? And office design. What's important about office design is that it needs to look really cool while signifying absolutely nothing. Like, look at all these non-threatening colors that make no interesting design whatsoever, but it looks like it might have been interesting. The point is to make
interesting.
Yeah?
A better word to say. You know? That was so high tech and future looking.
Yeah, the ability to paint circles is so high tech. Yeah?
I don't know if this is really efficient office design. I was under the impression that an office should have all the cubicles as isolated as possible so you feel depressed and alone during the workday.
But you forget. We need to be able to make sure that every employee hears everything that goes on in the office. That's why we have the opposite of noise. We have a noise magnifying design. That way, every single pin drop that happens in the office is something that every single employee can hear and understand. It's far more efficient. Yeah?
What are the chairs for? The chairs in the aisle.
Well, right. Therefore, the management person whose job it is to breathe over the other person's neck. Like, how else are we going to make sure that our workers do what they say they are doing without hiring an equal number of managers to look after them? Who watches the watchers, after all? And separately, we have security cameras as well. We also have some modern conveniences here. Like this design that makes me want to vomit, this design that makes me want to die, this design that just stop here.
Okay, that's an argument.
Yes, future. And this is what it looks like from the exterior. Did you give this to me on purpose because of the architecture thing?
No, like I said, I basically skimmed like the titles and title slides.
So as we all know, saucer design means future design. So all offices in the future will be saucers.
Why is it most efficient for there to be an office on the bottom and an office on the very top and nothing in the middle?
Well, the middle is for installation. That's where they keep the data. Now look at the office of tomorrow with its lack of railings.
Does this have anything to do with the cloud?
Why, yes. This office is actually floating into the sky among the clouds, where the data is.
Wait, is that why the other one was so tall?
Yeah, if it hits the cloud, everyone knows the cloud is where they store the data.
On the computer watch thing, how do you press the keys?
Well, you see, the modern office requires, I was gonna say stylus. You have this pin stylus that you use to press each key individually. But be careful not to miss or else it'll stab straight through your skin and die.
Oh.
Yeah?
Do you have insurance for that? Do you have to buy it with the watch?
Yes, in the back?
The only stylists I know do people's hair. How do you get them to work on that watch?
So a stylist is just defined as a person who uses a style. So a stylist is a person who uses a stylist. So when the people are making your hair, they're using a stylist, and that's why they're called stylists. It's what?
We're learning so
Stylist.
He said the word a lot, I think he's right.
I'm curious, first off, can you clarify the proper name of the device being inserted into the watch?
On a mini floppy disk, and that's how the watch tells time. You see, in it is a reel that continues to spin at its continuous rate until it's completely done, and you insert it in right at the beginning of the day, and it will keep track of time for you. But you have to remember to do it at midnight, or else you'll be off. And you have to remember to delay it during daylight savings time, which will still exist in the future.
So mini floppies are like the future of micro SD cards.
Of course, it can store a whole kilobyte of data.
Wow.
Whoa.
300
megabytes of storage.
Of course, most of those bytes are for DRM buds. And that is what the future of the office looks like. Any additional questions?
Thank you very much. I know I sure learned a lot today. Next up, oh, sorry, we have a question.
Yes?
How many computers is a Google?
Why a Plex?
53!
A Plex. Any more questions? Who's next?
Google's is a computer.
A baker's dozen.
All right. Can you please hand that off to Ryan Morganlander?
Oh boy, it's me.
You're not my mom. You can't tell me what to do. I'm Ryan, Star's resident has-been, and today, since I stopped showing up to meetings, I've decided to take that time and use all of it to study on this topic. And that's
Ryan, come on, you can do this.
I told myself that I wouldn't break character. I'm going to teach you how to register. Why did you do this? Hi, I'm Ryan, and since I stopped going to Star, I've been spending all of my free time studying
studying how to register an event with RIT. 90% of that is me on the phone waiting for somebody to give me a freaking answer. But I've got the answers, and I'm here to give them to you. There we go. Do you have an idea for a fun event? Too bad. First, you need to establish if you are a student-run club or a student-run organization through an academic department. Do you have a lot of time on your hands? No? Too bad. Do you love lots and lots of paperwork and then being told that it's the wrong paperwork, so you have to email 10 different people before they give you the right paperwork? Do you love redoing the same form every single week? Then you should consider planning an event. Follow these easy steps. You need to find the RIT event registration website and log in. It took me 2 weeks to find the website. The links on their website to the website just sent it to the same page that you were already on. You need to choose the appropriate reservation template, because when you log on, your club might not necessarily have logged on, which limits you to what you are allowed to reserve unless you're reserving for your club, which may or may not be active. As shown here, you need to go back to step 2 and choose the template again. You then want to pick what room you want to reserve and when. Then you need to recognize that somebody's already taken that room. Or possibly RIT has decided they wanted the room even though you've already reserved it. Who knows? You'd be amazed.
Oh my God.
Where's the line? This isn't a joke. So now you have to come up with the name of your event. And then you need to answer some fun questions, like, is it a class project or experiment? Is this a conference, colloquium, or symposium? Is it a ceremony? Is it a blood drive? Why can student clubs organize blood drives? Why can normal students reserve for ceremonies? I'm concerned. But most importantly, is it a forum lecture or a lecture forum? Is it a forum lecture presentation or is it a lecture forum presentation? These are the important questions that you need to know when reserving your event. And in the back,
we can have a dance, a movie, but can we have a dance movie?
That's a different form. And if you look very closely, you can reserve it for a dance, or you can reserve it for a dance. Yes, in the back.
No.
No! You can, but you don't reserve it as a car smash. Later, they ask if you're reserving a car smash, even though I've already established that it was a presentation, and then you have to answer a whole bunch of other questions. Yes.
The previous slide says check all that apply.
That's correct.
Yeah,
So if you were doing a lecture forum presentation for a lecture, would you need to also check all the subcategories if they all apply?
So that if you wanted to do a forum and a lecture, you could just pick forum lecture / lecture.
Or forum/lecture.
That's also true. So it all depends on it depends on how much you want to break down your forum lecture presentation. And so if you want topics, you have to pick forum, then lecture, then presentation. Where if they're all conjoined or very similar, you pick forum, lecture, presentation. Yes.
What do I have to do to get a ritual to my cult to train overlords to beg for the process of setting an event to be easier?
The gods aren't listening. Yeah, I've already tried. Yes.
Spiritual event and also a sports competition at the exact same time.
So you could have a non-athletic competition that is also an athletic competition, which would be, I don't know, frisbee golf, I guess. Also, I strongly recommend against making pacts with demons to try and make this process easier. That's how we lost Comic Book Club. And it keeps going. So now you need to decide whether or not your game room event is a car smash. Because that's a relevant question. Then you have to establish the group holding this event. Now I know what you're thinking. A car smash is where you get a car, you buy an old car, you put it on campus, and people pay you to put on goggles and take hammers and smash the car.
So like pumpkins.
I've been told it's great for stress relief. Unfortunately, reserving it would require a car smash just so you don't kill someone. Yeah, no, does Photo House still do them?
I have no idea.
They used to.
They did pumpkins earlier.
They do happen from time to time. I don't know how anyone gets through the registration process to host one, but apparently they do.
So now you have to determine the group holding this event. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Ryan, didn't I sign in with the group account? That's correct. RIT is a firm believer in repeating information you've already given them. Because, next slide. Include bingo. Yes, because as we all know, there's nothing more popular in RIT like the good old-fashioned car smash bingo.
I love this break.
That's why they have to double check with you if it's a car smash. You have to then they want to ask if it's going to include a movie. Then they're going to ask if it's a car smash again. Fun fact about movies, if you need to have the paperwork to show that you bought the movie. If the movie's in public domain, so you don't pay, they still require the documentation. If you tell them it's a public domain movie, they don't believe you until you show them a screenshot on any random website. True story. Will your event include more than 500 attendees? Probably not. Is it a car smash? Who knows? God forbid you accidentally clicked yes at one point. Yes.
I was about to ask, if I click yes on this and no on all the rest, what happens?
You get the same form that you get redirected to another form to make a car smash. They just want to be super, super sure. Would you like the event published on the RIT calendar? The answer is almost always yes. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean they always do it. Congratulations! You have now registered an event by completing the event registration form.
Really?
Until RIT decides to cancel the event because they need another room to plan Springfest.
No, they need another room to hold meetings.
I have a question about this. I feel like you might have left out some steps on that slide.
Like, do it all over again.
As I recall, when you say you want it on the events calendar, there are some follow-up questions.
So, when you decide you want to put it on the events calendar, oh no, I was gonna go to the beginning of the presentation. Because once you establish, hey, I want this on the event calendar, congratulations. You should do all of the steps again. And they wonder why I quit. Any other questions?
Why did you quit?
I used to be the comms officer for Star, which was responsible for reserving the events on a week-to-week basis. Yes.
Is it a car smash?
It's going to be! Yes. I decided to ruin a different club. I became treasurer of Fantasy Club. You can all see how well that went. And now I'm the president of RWAG, RIT's Board Gaming Club. We meet Tuesdays from 6 to 11 in the SAU cafeteria.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Excellent.
After you.
Any other questions? Yes.
There used to be a comic book club?
There are whispers of days gone by. At one point, one brave soul tried to make a comic book club.
And then they planned it at the same time as Star.
No, the same time as Arwag.
Oh, that's worse.
Although, to be fair, Monday's Star, Tuesday's Arwag, Wednesday's EGS, Thursday's Cosplay Troop, or Thursday's Anime Club, and Friday's Cosplay Troop. So if you want to make a nerd club, you're kind of screwed. Yes?
Is it a car smash?
No! Any other questions?
That's it.
What's up?
When will there be a car smash club, and when can we start praying to the Eldritch Gods for this to still be better? When can there be an Eldritch?
So the secret is that somebody swore to the Eldritch Club. Oh, speaking of dead clubs, rest in peace, Horror Club. Once. Yeah, exactly. Also, rest in peace, Rubik's Cube Club. Also, yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. So they actually did pray to gods to make this easier. This is the easy version. It used to be worse. Yes.
This is it. Weeping Angel tag.
I don't know, Freyo. Is it? It used to be worse, but now they made it easier. And in the process of making it easier, they canceled all of the reservations. Not the room reservations, the event registrations. You had to go through and do it all again.
What was this? And how?
This was over the summer.
How many things were already scheduled?
I want to die.
I've never seen a event already change your life.
Genuinely, honestly, the Star Cantina. Back when it was the Cantina and not Starfest, because that's how I got involved in Star, and that's how I ruined my life.
Aww.
Yes. It's all good. Anyone else? It's not a curse match, yes.
Are you sure it's not a curse match?
Okay. Yes.
How large was the die of sanity damage you just took? How much sanity damage you just take from doing this presentation?
D1. Does anyone have a D100?
I have a D120.
Nah.
I
All right.
tens on me.
I believe my time is. Oh, one more question, and then I'm
Much in the car smash, though.
Good night, everybody.
Oh no! He won!
That's less than I anticipated.
I'm sure we'll learn a whole lot today.
I only have 80 sanity.
But before this, I just want to show people, because I have a screenshot.
Oh my god.
That's a real thing from the link.
That was a real thing!
That is the actual screenshot from the link. What? How do you answer that? That was not in the guide. We never figured it out. We just picked both every time.
Yes. Is there a text error? There has to be a code error.
Look, if you call that an error, then you basically have to call half the website an error.
Yes. Yes, I do.
It's in a car smash.
No.
Yeah, other
Hey,
times.
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
It's okay, guys. I am not an expert in car smashes. I am an expert in something else. If you need to ask anything else about car smashes, please ask Tulio. I am told he knows all the rules to car smashes.
I do. I have one on my back. Other than fact, I also spent a year as comms officer. Apparently, no one can keep that job for more than a year. It's kind of like Star's defense against the dark arts professor. I have the car smash guidelines framed in my house.
Very well. I am an expert
Are you ready?
Yes.
For something completely different.
Yes.
It's
It's
on the wrong screen because appropriately enough, the previous presentation is trying to take over the screen again. All right, there we go.
Yes, I am an expert in cheese rolling and dogs. That is not my mouth. That is a Star member's mouth. If you can guess, I will give you $10.
So when do we guess?
At the end, when we do the car smash. So, as you can see, today we have our little assistant, Tanuki Mario, to help us with cheese rolling and our cheese rolling festival. Like cheese, this is exactly the place you want to be. So it takes place in England, and you roll cheese down the hill. Don't eat it afterwards because you will get sick. We'll get you new cheese afterwards.
So if you would like to get involved with cheese rolling, please go to this link right here, right now. Otherwise, you will not be entered into rolling cheese down the hill. As always, we have our English boy, Harry Potter, to help us with rolling down the cheese, as we do every year. This is a recipe for cookies. It is in the wrong place, but if you would like some cookies at the cheese rolling event, please tell me. Anybody?
Yeah.
I would like cookies at the cheese rolling.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes?
So I need Pillsbury flour, but I just get Wegmans flour.
No, it has to be Pillsbury. If you get Wegmans flour, then it. If you get Wegmans flour, then it's a North America. Then it's a Northern New York cookie, and that's no good because it's not a New York City cookie.
Fight me.
More on cheese. All right, so you get like this huge wheel of cheese. All right, you steal it from the Swiss. They're particularly holy, so it has less weight, so it's easier to roll it down the hill. And you do it in Gloucester. Don't disregard this. Most experts will tell you it's done with Gloucester cheese, but that's only because that's easily accessible and you don't have to steal it. The real cheese rolling is done with stolen cheese. Yes.
You're the holiest of all cheeses.
Swiss cheese. And remember, the best cheese to roll down is nacho cheese.
Wait. What did you say? Wait. What did you say? Wait, I saw something very noteworthy at the bottom.
Well, who has sisters in the room?
Crap, I'll be right back.
Hurry, what about your sister? No, it's fine. She's in England. No.
That's
That's because we are in England right now to roll the cheese down the hill. And in England, there are no mooses. So if you have a sister outside of England, then you should check if a moose has bitten your sister.
You ever heard of England mooses?
There are no England mooses. That is a lie.
That's because you never call them wait. Just because we have some confusion in the audience. Is it mooses, meese, moosin, or moostapos?
It's none of those. It's meeson. It's meeson. Yeah.
Is it actually titles
where? Which one?
All of them. Is that vital?
It is very vital. And remember, not Wegmans flour.
Okay.
All right. So this is just an example of the different themes we've had for cheese rolling. A lot of people like to get out scraping and draw Daleks. That's very English. Draw Nyan Mario, and then Nyan Cat on the cheese and make it roll. Because as it's rolling, it's going to do animated things like this or this. I don't know how. Noah, please explain to us the physics of rolling down a Swiss cheese roll with graphics that do this.
You push it and it goes.
Double rainbow. What does it mean?
Exactly. What does cheese rolling mean to all of us? Yes. You. Start with that. With you. What does cheese rolling mean to you?
That Mario Odyssey DLC.
Very carefully, and not with a roll of cheese. You see that? There was a double rainbow on that slide. What does it mean? What does it mean? Nyan Cat all the way across the galaxy. Is that a catchphrase? I hear a new catchphrase. You, sir, say the catchphrase.
Bears.
Wrong catchphrase. Wrong. The way across the bears.
With the car smash.
With the car smash. They're going to
fly into each other.
Not a parallel.
I'm sorry, but I have a confession to make. During this entire presentation on my phone, I've had Nyan Cat running since the start of this meeting.
Whoa.
I love Nyan Cat. I'm sorry. I'm just a 2012 goober. I am trash. Please disregard me completely.
He has much of the nostalgia.
If you want a copy of this presentation, which by the way is a terrible website, I set this as my homepage. Every time I open Firefox, this is what shows up, and I'm upset every time. Just use this link as your homepage, and you'll be upset like me. and not think about the never-ending chaos that is the human world. Yes.
Why was this presentation made by the New School VA, which, by the way, the New School is in New York City, not Virginia?
Wrong.
What are there, two?
Yes. You can use the same name for more schools.
Anyway,
2.5
what's from
schools.
Virginia?
You can have 2.5 schools with the same name. Yes.
We were talking about copyright, because they obviously stole this from the cheese roller game on Neopets.
Neopets stole it from us. Sure. I'm sorry. I don't know anymore. I literally can't. Are we good?
Thank you very much, Alex. That was
something
cheesy. I mean, that it certainly was.
No.
Next up, Kyle.
I've done so many.
Yeah, it's you.
So many.
Oh no, you got it.
Wow.
What
That's the thing.
Oh, you're presenting that topic.
That sounds promising. Quite.
Are you ready, sir?
Sorry, you look
Always.
You look visibly weird.
Yes, I have a headache.
All right.
Oh, great. Didn't Star
Yes.
Club do that once?
Announcement. Aliens.
Yes.
It's very important. I'm the foremost expert on aliens. I've never been to this club that entire semester. This is the first time I'm meeting some of you, I think. I'm an expert, so I know what I'm talking about. People ignore the truth about aliens. They are here among us right now. Look to your neighbor, to your left, to your right. They might be aliens and you don't know. Proof is going to be right here, right on the screen, this very moment. Feast upon. This man, I totally know who he is. I've seen him, and he is in fact 100% alien. Do you see that stare, that dead human-eyed look in his? He doesn't have a soul. You can see it. Other proof out there that aliens are in fact among us, among our peers right now. I exhibit so many. There is all this proof that aliens are in fact real. This one right here is very compelling. It's not photoshopped, I swear. Oh geez. Okay, see that he just took over the PowerPoint. For a flash of a second, he appeared. It was terrible. Oh Jesus! So other things that these aliens do are they're just irresponsible. They're not cool. They're rude. They just gonna ask if you want a seat, bro. I'll move to the side. It's just the most obnoxious aliens. Just really rude. Just come on. Let me get done. Let me get done first. Other aliens amongst us. I know you all know Lady Gaga. She is in fact an alien. If it wasn't obvious before, beautiful and must be protected at all costs. So this one's okay. We're okay with this alien.
Here's a front cut.
Government's bringing aliens into the mainstream. This is actually a huge problem because I thought aliens were cool before they got the mainstream, and now that they're getting to the mainstream, it's no longer something they can really.
Not just the mainstream, they're all the way at the top.
Oh my God! See, they're everywhere. Here, for example, these are many famous aliens. There's this one is, I believe, some sort of scientist. He has a PhD. I think they call him the doctor. I'm not sure why. Yes, question.
So there's a bear in the bottom left-hand corner.
Indeed, aliens are indeed psi, not phi, but they're definitely psi. Being a bear does not necessarily mean you're sci-fi, but it definitely has half of that at least. Psi, aliens, not phi. All right, it's very important distinction. You see, there is this man right here. He's doing a gang sign. Alien gang signs are bad. Don't do gang signs. You might get shot. Also, these green fellas are clearly in cahoots. So just watch out for that. If you see this, just don't respond. Just look away. One big conspiracy.
You see the red text?
I
That means
want my
it's
money
real.
back.
No. You can't leave. They're here. They're listening. You see other things that are part of the alien conspiracy. Werewolves. They're basically bears. Also Psy. Zombies, not bears. But I mean, they're still there. They exist. They're big and scary. They hurt people, kind of like bears. Similar. Vampires, they have fangs like bears. And I mean, I don't need to talk much about it. You guys understand what this was, right? Yeah, okay, thanks for understanding. Let's carry on. So, see, this man is doing the gang sign. This scum. We must keep them at bay at all costs. All of them, including him.
What is it with sisters?
Oh my God, guys, it's very serious for a second.
Who's our aliens?
My sister, 12 years ago, was just walking along the beach, having a good time in Lake Loch Ness, when just snatched her right up. Just the giant tentacle monster, Loch Ness, just abducted her, and bees appeared. Sorry, I need to move on. Maybe I don't need to move on. Oh, whoa! So you see, no. Why you, sir? Why you?
You don't get to ask why.
Who is
Exactly.
the
He is the
trio
problem.
to?
And he is the villain. Yes, sir, in the back.
I have a question that's very important to me.
Of course.
You said your sister was kidnapped 12 years ago.
Yes.
Was it 12 years ago with 12 other people who were forced to find a door with the number 12 on it?
That's a reference.
12 hours?
I thought it was 9 though.
Or divided by
Good question.
3.
Next slide.
Is it actually
You see, he truly believes he's not an alien. His belief is so intense, it only intensifies further. But we all know, totally an alien. You can see again the dead stare, right there. Yeah, right there. Not a person,
Possibly
not a human.
camera-friendly
The
appearance.
truth is out there. You just need to find it. You need to find that man. You have to watch out for the signs. These gang signs. These are not good. Never do this ever again. Whoa, sir. Are you an alien?
I am normal human.
Oh, yes.
I am normal human.
Of course, he's fine. So that was my dissertation on aliens. Any questions? Yes.
What are your thoughts on robots?
Robots, as long as they're human-made, and especially made in America, are fine. All other aliens and illegal alien robots, not okay. Yes.
Will we not mistake the soulless stare of aliens for those robots?
You see, yes, but next question.
Are you the alien?
Hey, I've never seen him before.
Is that Jim Skylark?
We've never seen a human and the alien in the same room at the same time.
Just kidding, I'm totally human. Yes.
Sleep for 8 to 5.
Signing off.
All right, thank you. I have learned so much today. Next, actually, can you have that off the draw? Yes.
Yes.
Good friend, cheers.
Space.
It's where the aliens are from.
The final frontier. The final frontier. Yeah, I'm feeling really spaced out right now, guys. Gotta do that. Dark space. So most of the universe is actually made of dark matter, which is awesome because we can't see it or we know what it is.
Sounds scary.
It does sound scary. It just emphasizes that we just don't know what's going on in the world. So actually, I could be a dark matter alien right now going over me right now, just be like slamming me, and I'd be like, oh well, or whatever, Got some dark matter beings just sitting here, and be like, hey dude, you need to say space junk, or maybe controlling your thoughts, and reality is just a bunch of dark matter waves. So everyone knows that in all plots, so how do you end the world? You make a rock in space go fast enough, huh? And that's always how you can drive a plot, huh? The faster the rock's moving, the more close you are getting to the climax, huh? When the rocket actually reaches the maximum speed, you know you're halfway through the movie, huh? You also know that the only way to resolve any stones coming near your civilization is to use explosives, huh? You know, and the idea of deep impact, I think, was supposed to have a double meaning in that, though. You know, it's supposed to have a deep impact on society about asteroids, and it's a deep impact because they kind of just put them deep in the meteor, make it explode. So they actually there's actually a spoiler in the movie plot. And the title actually spoiled the plot of the movie. I was so disappointed when I watched it. Space, colors. Everyone's basic wallpaper background.
I feel personally attacked.
So everyone loves the colors of space. People use it as leggings. They use it as tattoos. So maybe they worship it. You always feel like you want to stare into anything that looks like a galaxy. Catches your eye for some odd reason. Oh. What?
Stare into anything in the galaxy.
Yeah, you're right. Like Mario Galaxy, for example. You just can't stop playing because you want to know what the next galaxy looks like. Some galaxies are boxes that have question marks on them. Some galaxies are just shaped like food.
What would we say IGN rated that guy?
What? What? What just happened? Shoot. Whoa, cow, you're going too fast. Holy cow.
What's cow?
Cows?
Are there cows in space?
Praise the cow!
There are cows in space.
Well,
They move around, and that's all that stack we get from the satellite dishes. We see like the black light, just giant black cow moving. It's the satellite aliens. Space again. Whoa. Whoa.
Space.
Where the events is? So with spiral galaxies, they just spin around in circles for no reason. So what happens when you have two spiral galaxies run into each other? No one really knows. But they do, for some reason, collide into each other. They're really far apart, huh? Headspace. But yet they still fail. It doesn't make any sense anymore.
Looks like a brain.
Fist. Brain fist? So just okay. It basically looks like a
Space snake.
Space snake. Like supernovas. Supernovas are actually explosions. They're not just Dragon Ball Z attacks. Really bright, and if you ever happen to see one, you're like, awesome. There's no night tonight, Tim. Where like a lot of people actually, yeah, okay. Oh, even? How many slides are in this thing?
5 to go.
5 to go. Okay. That's like I'm not spacing. So Serenity. It's peaceful when they look at space.
Beautiful.
I like space.
Special.
Okay, good. Everyone, I always think space gives you a sense of peacefulness, makes you want to fall asleep. Or the space opera is really that bad, or you're just watching Jupiter ascending. What's that?
Space Bear.
Yes, the nebula, the cutest thing in space. Huh? It's like a puppy, but a playing gas form, huh?
A tardigrade that evolved.
You know, back in the day, I was part of something like this. So, but
then my molecules form to actual reals of chemicals, and then all the process kind of come through evolution and other stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really convenient when we have a black hole in the center of the universe. Okay, space. Wow, many pretty stars, such space. All right.
I have a question. So if we were promised that we find infinite discoveries and we travel to the center of the galaxy to find something, and it ends up being, will it end up being nothing?
Probably. I mean, because you played No Man's Sky, you can probably answer that question by doing that.
That's literally what the question was.
That's too true.
But you probably won't find nothing. Like honestly, the odds are so slim, huh? Unless you just figure out like wormhole, you're just gonna play lottery with the wormhole machine. Some goes to well. So it's like Stargate, but more random. Hey, anyway, another interesting note is anyone has actually seen. That's what it basically looks. The sky looks like it's yellow, and it's really trippy.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's weird. Okay.
Okay, you have another round of applause for Doug. And the giver off to Logan.
No, wait.
Shoot. Logan! How many more do we have? I'm pretty sure there's
Loads.
How many more presentations?
How many more people?
We have, counting Logan, 4 people left in the first round, and then people, if they would like to, can do additional presentations. If anyone would like to go again. But first off, can we please direct our attention to Logan?
Yes, I am Logan.
On
The best hand, turkey, created by your hand. Don't know whose hand, but it's your hand. For every occasion, Thanksgivings, birthdays, romantic getaways, space, farming, crime scenes, you should always have your best friend, the hand turkey. The hand turkey is the only friend you ever need. Just make sure it's your right hand. Not because I'm assuming this is the right hand, or it could be the back of your left hand. Who knows?
Everyone looks right. Everyone likes left hands.
Supplies for what you need for your best friend hand turkey. Hands. Your hands. Your friend's hands. Your dad's hands. The enemy's hands. These hands.
Dad's hands?
Those two. Ooh. Get all the hands you need. Just take some from your friends. They're not going to need it. Exactly. Then you need coloring materials, but you need the finest coloring materials. Crayons, markers, the blood of your enemies.
Whatever you do not use roses.
Just make sure, as long as your color is red, you're fine. And then you put your hand on the paper. I do not have paper with me at the moment, unfortunately. So the screen will work. The screen is paper, right? It's phlegm, fat. I don't know if I can cut it with scissors. Can I?
No.
Not this one.
I think that was part of the thing we had to sign when we reserved the room.
But you could cut it.
Theoretically speaking, if you had a different one that you owned, you might be able to cut it.
So a screen will work fine then, just not this screen. Trace it. And you trace it with crayon, or marker, or blood of your enemies. I've talked about this like a few slides ago. You guys should be remembering this. Exactly. You trace like that. Yeah. What, you don't even go at the outlines. You just go around the hands, and then you do a cool flip as well, like this. That was crazy. I'm not doing that again. I could risk my life or whatever. Then you fill it in with color. It's orange, yellows,
science gone too far.
Browns. These colors.
You don't eat blue greens because who wants a blue, green, or whatever turkey? And then there. Enjoy.
God, why?
Beautiful. And turkeys.
Now science has gone too far.
That is blasphemous. I bet you have this game right here that a certain friend of mine has been pestering me to play.
Wow, I wonder who.
It's a mystery. Thank you.
Thank you again, Logan. Okay. Next up, so I need to not look at this because I was told I need to run this presentation, and all I know is the title.
Who is it? Oh.
Hi, I'm Zachary. I was told not to look at the contents of this, and I might be good to run it. So I'm here to talk to you about RWAG. After all the RWAG people left, so that's unfortunate. You're not currently board. I'm sorry for yes, you do go to RWAG.
We'll send it to them later.
They can catch us on the live stream. YouTube.rhtstar.com. Anyway, on this presentation, so RWAG, as you might have guessed from the fact that it's always capitalized, is an acronym, and it stands for. Oh, sorry, I forgot. This is actually a quiz. Does it stand for Rochester War Games Association Games? Rochester War Games, a guild. Rochester War Gamers. Rochester War Gamers Association G? No. You might have heard plenty of these variants going around, and you notice every time people say that, they always sound like they've got it kind of wrong, like they're not quite sure they're remembering it correctly. And that's because it stands for Ryan wins that game! So, the small council. You might understand this is something they pulled from fantasy because they're not as into sci-fi as we are. Right. So, the important member of the small council is Ryan. Which Ryan? All the Ryan!
Ryan Magic Lander.
Yeah, that's it. It's just they have so many Ryan. You saw Ryan Morganlander earlier. You didn't see Ryan Muscat, but that's only because I think he's on co-op, but he still counts. He's a Ryan. President. What? Yeah, they're both president. Just if you're wondering who the RWAG president is, it's Ryan M. That's how you know which one it is from the other Ryans. They're both Ryan and they're both the president. Yeah, so the rest of the e-board, like the non-Ryans, are basically just half of RIT. Their e-board is huge because, you heard at the start, Cameron, plugged all of STAR's cool committees. We've got Webmaster Committee, we've got PR Committee, we've got StarFest Committee, we had teams that have planned our other STAR social events. They just add all those people to their e-board. Here you can see I don't have time to read all of these. The important thing is these are all e-board positions, and most of them are Ryans. The logo, as you can see, the 5 dots represent not a die that has rolled a 5 on a d6, faction of RWAG, whereas the dragon, even more subtly, represents dragons. The 3 spines represent the 3 times Ryan has lost the game in RWAG. As you can see, they're on the dragon because those Ryans were actually consumed by the dragon, and their energy was used for the dragon to grow those spikes. Some interesting history. RWAG is one of RIT's oldest clubs. You probably have heard this already if you talk to anyone in e-board. But what you might not have known is it is so old, it is the only club founded at a year where we need to specify BC, specifically 1963 BC, founded, of course, by the original Ryan M. He stole a dragon egg from the Arch-High Wizard and formed the original RWAG Guild. That's the Ryan Wins at Games Guild. Later rebranded to the Rochester
Board Gamers Association and Games Guild. The board game part of that, as I just kind of said, came later. Originally, it was Ryan wins at any sort of game, because of course EGS wouldn't be invented for another few millennia. All right, there we go, the dragon. So this is the original dragon who inspired the dragon and the RRAG logo. His name is Ryerdon, from which the humans derived the name Ryan. He has his own special e-board position that I'm not sure what they do these days now that Ryerdon is no longer a regular attendee of RWAG, but I would not be surprised to hear that the position is kept around just in case.
Where is Ryan done right now?
I mean, he does what he wants. He's a dragon, man.
So you're the person in charge of the secret of keeping the dragon location a secret then?
I mean, you try to
I'm not the master of dragon. I do Star. We don't have dragons because they're apparently not sci-fi.
You can have space dragons.
Yeah, Cameron.
I thought you were an expert on Ryan Wins at Games.
Oh, I'm an expert on Ryan Wins at Games. I'm just not the master of dragon. I don't serve on their small council. Small council. Jan.
So, do Ryans evolve directly into Ryerdon, or do they have to evolve into Ryerdino first?
Are you talking about specifically within the species of dragons?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. So Ryerdon is of course this form. How much the Master of Dragon wants me talking about this. I'm more importantly, I'm not sure how much Ryerdon wants me talking about this. Depending on the cheats you use, you can actually go directly to Ryerdon's final form. And I think that's all we should say about that before anyone gets angry. So Rudicon. Rudicon is, as you might know, Ryan Wins at Games convention. It understandably features games and Ryan. Red Bull, he's another dragon, he doesn't always show up. Don't make a big deal about it if he doesn't show up. Yeah.
So what happens if Ryan and Red Bull are mixed together?
I mean, they're all R-waggers, so they generally get along. But like, there are some rules about how much we can say about Red Bull's participation in Rudicon that I only had partially explained to me by the head of Rudicon last year. So
Also Ryan.
yeah, oh yeah, Ryan. Yeah, sorry, I thought that might have been implied. Ryan ran Rudicon, and runs Rudicon probably. Other details back about RWAG in general. RWAG meets at Tuesdays at 6 p.m. in the SAU Davis room, where you can come for 4 games. Ryan M, the other Ryans, Ryan M, Nerd Stuff, Magic. I don't think they have Ryan M anymore, but do they still have Ryan H at least?
I don't know where he is.
But I think I have seen Ryan M there occasionally.
We have Ryan S now. There's that one Ryan who's got a funny accent, pronounces his name like Raymond.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you died.
I was summoned.
I've said your name way more than 3 times.
For secrets.
Yeah, but Ryan M shows up there. Ryan S, I either graduated or just left, but they also have Ryan S, so we're good.
Did Ryan S lose a game? Did he get eaten?
I honestly,
He hasn't lost 3 times yet.
I don't know for sure what Ryan S is doing these days, but we have, like I said, we have Ryan S, so.
Yeah, Ryan H is the one who's missing. Ryan S is there. Ryan
No,
S is
but also Ryan S isn't here anymore.
Well, no, Ryan S is here.
No, not that Ryan S, Ryan S.
Can you clear something up for me? If I lose to any of the Ryans, do I go to the Shadow Realm or do I die?
That's only if you offer stuff. That's only if you make that bet.
I mean, like, if you're just going to RWAG, you're allowed to play games for fun. Like, you don't have to bet your mortal soul.
You don't have to play card games.
There are opportunities, but you don't have to. I don't want to scare people away.
What if I spent the time playing Egyptian artifacts just to do that?
I mean, then it's really whatever stakes you're playing for. Like, if you just want to play for your life, like, I'm sure they have like those small roller tables. But then, like, if you want to do something bigger, like, you know, Immortal Soul, you know, Immortal Service to the Dragons, Banishment to the Shadow Realm, all that stuff, like, there are opportunities if you know who to talk to. Who to talk to is, of course, Ryan. Yes.
I've heard rumors that if you even consider changing your name to Ryan, you will be immediately added to the e-board. Can you clear this up?
Actually, so it turns out you don't necessarily have to change your name to Ryan. You can still get added to the e-board. Yes.
I am living proof is all you need to do is consider changing your name to Ryan, and you're automatically added to the e-board.
Wait, unless you have other commitments, which is how the third Ryan M got to stay with Anime Club instead.
But I'm now part of the
What you do is you decide you have changed your name to Ryan, and then you don't actually ever go file paperwork with the government.
But Ryan M still sometimes comes to RWAC. He's just not a member of the e-board. And I don't know if that's because something happens when two Ryan M's are both president, is that prevents further Ryan M's on the e-board until there's only one Ryan M as president.
Are Ryan M allowed to lose games and not get eaten, or does the Ryan loses a game and gets eaten apply to any Ryan, or just keyboard Ryans?
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure because I've never seen Ryan M lose a game.
Ooh, fair.
All right, thank you very much. I hope that was an informative, shameless plug for someone else's club.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right, and next up, Jan. Jan, I got her.
Confirming my appointment to the e-board.
Was there a ceremony? Was the dragon there?
All right.
Nice shirt.
Thanks.
Thriller?
Yeah,
are you ready?
It was real nice. It was real nice.
Now, Ryan, are you ready?
I'm ready. I think we're all ready here. So, I think I'm here to tell you all about my real area of expertise. Overly dense PowerPoints with excessive slide views. Explaining the perfect ways to pack too much into a single PowerPoint beyond the intended point of a slideshow. This is a much shorter slide. It'll get worse. Here's some basic principles of PowerPoints. All right. It's going to be devil out of this PowerPoint. All right. Put as much info on one page as possible, but make sure never to shorten your titles. You want these things to be as long as you can possibly think of. If they're even a sentence too short, then you know you're probably not going to make it affect the PowerPoint. You're not going to get your point across. So this is a lot of text to read. So I'm just gonna give you the TLDR on the next slide. This kind of slide is bad. You see all this black space over here. You got to fill that with like maybe I don't know an essay or two. You know, you just gotta you gotta like make it. You gotta add some more text over here because everyone needs a friend. Though using it's just normal text boxes is fine. Though really, it's best not to when I say condense, I mean you have to make the word. You don't have to make the sentence structure condensed. You have to condense the words into a smaller font, so that way they take up more data. So you got to have a bigger data processor, and that makes it more modern. Now, this is where you should be using your images. You know, you should take some images, just splatter them all around here. You don't gotta be professional about it, because everyone's gonna know what you mean. See what I mean? It's just all over. It's just all over the place. Nice art. You know, made this on a show recently. And of course, there's a cat.
our overlords. You have to have them represented in some way, or else they'll swat at you. They don't like that. Single caption should always apply to multiple images. If there's no connection to them. So like usually you're gonna want to have like 6 different pictures in one corner, and then have a caption over there talking about, but it's there. The biggest thing you want to do is to have a lot of color. You want to make people's eyes bleed. You don't do that, then if people's eyes are bleeding, that's how you know they're missing. More colors. You got to be creative, but of course, I don't really make my own PowerPoints. I would never talk about being creative and include green, because green is not a creative color, as we all know this.
Oh,
I can't even read that. I'm just gonna move on before I get to get a new prescription. You gotta write justify it. You just always gotta write justify your PowerPoint. This hurts. You gotta, you gotta make sure that your formatting is different. You gotta change things up a little bit. People are gonna get confused if we just stick on one style of PowerPoint, Center justify, keeping everything like organized. That's not the way you want to go about things. That's just boring. So So the key thing is just to make sure that you have no clue what you're talking about and stumble as much as you can. I've been showing you this strategy this whole time, and it's been proving very effective. Thank you, and good night, as step 4 states.
All right, and next, can you hand that off to Lucas?
Scott, get right. It belongs to you. Scott, get right.
Hello, and fabuloso people. I just need, if you don't mind, I just gotta get ready for this special occasion.
I am very curious to hear your presentation on.
I gotta readjust my eyewear.
So how?
Oh, you're reading.
It's okay to get emotional.
I know, it's so inspirational.
I mean, we got to bring Nelson Mandela back. Just get that.
Break those words.
Right.
No, yes.
Nelson Mandela. He was once he was a superhero. And just like the superhero genre, we gotta bring him back, whether that's through discovering that he's being chased by death and he's actually outpacing it because he's that great. There's my favorite superhero. Can you tell the difference? Between his face just fits right on. It just fits right on there. Can't you just tell? I can't. It's not like there's any sort of obstruction that's like making you think. But the face doesn't belong there. But it does. As much as actually, my life is too messed up to think of something like that. The superhero equals the Toa. What is that like? Is That's oh yes, it is that bionicle mythos in that world. I have done the maths. Superhero and mask equals. You come up with a name. Come meet me afterwards, and you can put it in for a raffle. And I'll just pull it out of the toilet. It's not going to be a coincidence because it's from all of you. It's something from here. Even though thoughts dreams don't come from here, it comes from here. It's pet peeve. The Mandela effect. Ah, yes. Have any of you subscribed to Angry Video Game Nerd and saw that one video? And I could not say it better. Then what the best part about Bionicle is you could then rearrange it. That's why now making it Bionicle back would be the next stage of modern technological advancement. I mean, we saw that other PowerPoint. I mean, that our slideshow PowerPoint is copywritten. It is not for me to say. It's owned by Microsoft. Do that. How do I create that thing that cats chase onto here?
The fun on the very top.
The very top. Okay. Yay. Oh, thank you. As you can see, the most inspirational font had to be chosen, and that is the important point. I mean, this is not. Why don't I see this artist's name in the image? I mean, where's this public domain? Anyway, it's meant. I mean, doesn't this just look like the evolved form of this? I mean, you can tell through the chromatophores that it's capable of changing color. I have seen my biology.
You had a question?
Yeah. So can we pull up the last slide one more time?
Yeah.
So I'm admittedly just a little bit behind on my Bionicle lore. Who's this on the left, the orange guy?
That is Agent Orange.
and what is his
name? Regionale's name.
And what is his position in the Bionicle timeline?
I would say nearby that one time when Vanilla Ice was great.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you.
All right, so now every presenter has gone at least once. Has gone once. First off, is there anyone who did not originally sign up to present but would like to present now?
Oh, I don't want to present.
Okay. No one has to present. In that case, is there anyone who would like to present a second time? All right. I saw Cameron, Josh, then John.
It's Cameron first.
Oh, I'll take your word for it. Okay, fine. John, then Cameron, then Josh. Then John, I'm going to need you to take this and get up there so you can't see what presentation I have. Okay.
Actually, I think I'm just gonna. Actually, I think I'll scratch that.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
This one. I was looking for the entire.
All right, now this time I'm gonna not half-ass a Bob Ross impression. I think that might be a pleasure to you all.
Thank you, but you were a delightful Southern belle.
At least it wasn't a John Mango impersonating Big Bird Who's Line.
Oh, no.
Oh, I should also mention, so, that was, the stack of new presentations submitted specifically for STAR. Some of these are sci-fi related ones that were submitted to, Cosmic Truth PowerPoint Karaoke, but they ran out of time, and they are so sci-fi related, you can do them here. Some of them also were done, but are very good for a STAR audience, such as. Oh no, did you have this one down?
Oh no, can we just watch the DLC series?
John,
right.
John, this is a long one.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It's so fun. We had.
Don't take too long.
Yeah,
all right.
Too long.
Gotta go fast.
I'll speed through it. Yeah, I mean, I'm an expert on Star Wars, so obviously I got to go through this real fast for y'all. So, Luke Flyboy, he zooms, he zooms across the sky. But he dies in the end, so we don't really get to on him. There's Princess Bunhead. Of course, you don't see any of the buns in her head in any of these, but she has buns in her head. That's just how it works. 2 out of 3 of Sons are horrible. She only has 1 in the movies, but the other two, they're secret. They're hidden in their buns. Han Yolo, he only lives once. Last movie kind of proved that. Despite popular belief, we don't see him chewing on anything in the movies. I don't know why, but that's just how it ends up being. He will rip your arms off, though.
Really? I never thought.
This is a dark dad. He's got a big helmet, and it's really scary. I don't know. He frightened. I don't know. I get real scared waking him up with the original Edward Elric. He had, little known fact, he had a brother, and he lost his brother's body and gave up his arm to save him. He's actually a really good guy, deep down. This name is, that seems like a really weird name. I don't know why they picked something like that. Oh, now you decide not to go to the next slide. Here we go. That's Qui-Gon, and as the name suggests, after the first movie, he was Qui-Gon. I mean, it was really just because they didn't want to pay Liam Neeson to be in another movie, but you know. And this is Anakin. You can tell it's a girl because of the really long hair and the whining. Oh. And of course, this is the prior fun lady, Padme, or as other people would pronounce, Tatum. Ray of sunlight. I don't really get where you get that from, but she was frowning throughout like the whole movie. Finn is in fact a human, even though he might not act like it at points. Oh damn, Ron. It's really just a discount on Solo. I'm just gonna come on and say it.
He's not mascot.
No, how can you tell? He was barely in the movie.
I never seen it, so
Well, he was supposed to tie in like the first scene, but I didn't like the actor too much.
So just like Han Solo, he died way after he was originally supposed to. These guys, you know, they're pretty sparkly. They got a lot of sheen to them. This picture is a lot more accurate because they look a lot more chromy, and as we all know, everything's chromy. Good God, this is long. This is Donald Trump. I think this is all self-explanatory. We all watch the news. Looks a little, I don't know. This guy is the guy who invented yoga. He invented yoga. You can tell because he's constantly in the downward dog. That's why he's always so short. I saw Zachary had a hand up.
Yeah, for the previous slide, if that's Donald Trump, does that mean Carrie Fisher's gonna come back and strangle him with a chain?
That's the good ending.
Please let this happen.
Okay, that was it.
Next, I believe, was Cameron.
What about the bears though?
Well, that was Chewy. We already had that. No, you only need one bear minimum.
Yeah. Well, one bear maximum, really.
No, you can have as many bears as you want.
Alright, Cameron, please tell us about.
All right, so hold on. All right, everyone, please keep your booze to yourself. The DCU is a highly underrated movie franchise because people just don't understand it. Okay, there's a lot of misunderstanding. People aren't approaching it from the right direction. Marvel has ruined the superhero movie genre, and I'm here to set it straight. Tell you why Marvel is wrong and DC is correct. So first of all, we're going to talk about Aquaman, which is coming up very soon. So as we all know, everybody here loves SpongeBob, but what they don't know is that SpongeBob is actually just Aquaman reskinned. A lot of people probably recognize these as SpongeBob characters, but they in fact belong to the ACU, or the Aquaman cinematic universe. There's of course the ever popular Aqualad to Ocean Master plot line that is really near and dear to the hearts of many fans. Black Manta, Atlantis, all of this. If you know SpongeBob, you actually know Atlantis. And I spent a little bit of time around 90s kids, and they are constantly quoting SpongeBob. I thought they were quoting Aquaman for a very long time. So a lot of you are actually already fans of the DCEU without even realizing it. Wonder Woman 2 is going to be coming out very soon. Wonder Woman is considered to be the one good movie in the DCEU. They're all good movies, of course, but this is the most popular of the good movies. The most exciting thing about this one is that the last movie was, a lot of people say oh, where's Wonder Woman's invisible jet? It was there the whole time, it was just invisible. When she's when Chris Pine was I gotta fly away, and Wonder Woman's I can't hear you, if she could have heard it, she would have been all right, take my invisible jet, you don't have to run to catch up to the one that's gonna explode. But unfortunately, there was a big explosion that she couldn't hear very well, and that was the real heart-wrencher of the movie that I really feel was missed by a lot of people, which really increases the value of the movie as a whole. Yes, in the back.
I thought that the original Wonder Woman, the plane that blew up, was supposed to be a cameo of the invisible plane, because after it blew up, you couldn't see it anymore.
So that's one of the several takes on the movie. That's one of the fantastic things about the DCEU, is that the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the only guesswork you have to do is stuff that the writers have put in there very obviously related to the plot directly, the Magic MacGuffin stones, who has what and where is it, and blah, 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 nobody cares. The great thing about the DCEU is that the questions that fans have to ask is, what is the message of the movie? What sort of themes are trying to be conveyed to the audience as a whole? What are the deeper meanings? What do these movies say about ourselves? And speaking about what movies say about ourselves, of course, Cyborg, the Booyah Man himself. So the great thing about this, the great thing about this iteration of Cyborg is that he is actually 99% robot, because as we all know, the more robot, the better. The only things left as human are his eyes. So this movie has been in the works for a very long time, and several parts of it were actually bought out by LucasArts and repurposed into Star Wars Episode 3 as General Grievous. So once again, if you are a fan of Star Wars, unbeknownst to you, you are actually a fan of the DCEU. The roots go very deep, everybody. A lot of people just don't realize how much this universe has impacted media that existed what a lot of people thought of as long before it, but was in fact just the DCEU planting its own roots across franchises around the world. The Green Lantern Corps, or Corps, as the uneducated might say. So yet another group of seeds planted by the DCEU in popular Looney Tunes cartoons. So once again, this plot has been in the works for years upon years upon years, and was then their spies went out to Warner Brothers and implanted the seeds in your little child mind. So as you see this and it makes you happy, you will actually really like the next Green Lantern movie that comes out, I promise. Batgirl. So very similar to how a lot of people don't like gamer grills because they can't even hold DSs. The grill pattern just gets on the back and we'll remove the cartridge holder. This is the true iteration of it, which is Bat Grill, because nothing makes a burger quite as succulent as the tears over your own dead parents. Question.
Is this the prequel to Batman Eats a Hot Dog?
Not only is this the prequel, but it was the simultaneous release and the sequel to. It is the beginning, the middle, and the end. The forever and the after ever. This is the ultimate Batman movie. A lot of people say that the Nolan vs. Batmans are once again the only good DCEU movies, and a lot of people think that it was a mistake that they wiped them in order to make way for the new Batman, but that is actually not the case. If you pay close attention to Batgirl, you see that once again, the seeds are planted very deep, and all of those universes are connected. It is the same Batman and yet a separate Batman from the iconic scene where all of the Batmans come together to grill a nice burger and make dad jokes. So then we have Enter Sandman. Many of you might know this as the popular rock song, but it is in fact yet another prequel that once again reunited over the great Batgrill cinematic sub-universe. That's right, sub-universes within sub-universes. This goes very deep, and a lot of people don't realize. They don't have a high enough IQ to fully comprehend the DCEU. This goes deeper than Rick and Morty, people. Suicide Squad 2. This is the one that I personally am the most excited for. Chris Pratt is super overrated. It's all about Jared Leto, everybody. If we're going to talk about glistening abs like Chris Pratt out the window, Jared Leto's thin, lanky body is where it's at. That is what the ladies are going over. Muscles are out, thin and lanky is in. And of course, all of the rest. Once again, these roots are very deep in the media that you consume every day, in your childhood, in your future, in your present. I'll go over just a couple of them. Black Adam, as you all know, atoms make up everything in the universe, and the absence of light is darkness, otherwise known as black. So if you go small enough to a point on an atom where you actually can't see light, that is a black atom, and it makes up everything. There's Deadshot, which is sometimes misquoted as Headshot. So if you've ever played a first-person shooter in your life, you once again have got the roots of this series in you. Harley Quinn and the Joker. The most important part of this is Joker jokes. If you've ever told a joke in your life, you firmly believe in the DCEU. Lobo, which is Latin for wolf. So if you like dogs, you're a big fan of the DCEU. I could go on, but I really don't think I need to. I think at this point I've convinced all of you that you are DCEU fans, whether or not you realized it yet.
No,
Oh, gosh. All right, thank you, everybody. Are there any questions about why you are a fan of the DCEU? In the back.
How do you not know Black Adam is your master?
No, I know exactly what Black Adam is. It is an atom that does not have light on it, and so it is a black atom. I answered this question already. Zachary.
The Arrowverse.
Well, you see, the Arrowverse has to do with arrows, right, which is pointing. So if you ever indicated to an area via a point, you have been involved in the Arrowverse and are actually part of the DCEU. This, of course, includes laser pointers, which are the sci-fi version of the Arrowverse, more commonly accepted in this club atmosphere. I'm going to sweep this way and move back over. So
much like cinematic genius Zack Snyder, did Ayn Rand also influence the creation of this content?
Yes, absolutely. So I am, of course, wearing my Rapture t-shirt here today. A lot of people may think this was a goof, an error, a mistake, but then of course Ayn Rand wraps into Bioshock, which wraps into the DCEU. I don't even need to go into it, it's too obvious. On this side.
Is the Lego Batman movie still canon?
Oh, of course the Lego Batman movie is still canon, which of course then ties into the Lego universe, so if you've ever played with Legos and or Mega Blocks, Duplos, etc., once again, you've been involved in the DCEU since childhood and are a huge fan of it. All right, and anyone else?
Mega Blocks are off-brand. Duplo.
Well, so yes, that is what a lot of people think, but it is actually over the greater plastic building block conspiracy, which was once again gone over in the Bat Grill episode. You all really need to watch this. It's the key tie-in, the single Mad Hat moment that I needed to reach for in order to bring this all together.
That's a theory. A game theory.
Thanks for watching.
All right, would anyone else like to present? We still have a few more slide decks.
I mean, I suppose I could go again.
Yeah, I did not see the order of those. Wait, actually.
Okay, I think we have time for probably one more.
We have 3 minutes. We have 3 minutes.
Who's funniest? They can go fast.
I mean, we have 3 presentations if we, for the last 3 people, if you don't mind going just a little bit over time.
Are you? Not already.
PowerPoint Karaoke is scheduled for an extra hour because this happens. All right, so let's just go 1, 2, 3. That was the order I saw you.
I would just go with 2 minutes.
All right, ready? I'll just tell you, this is 12 slides. Don't slide too much.
Hello.
Not to rush you.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.
So today we will be talking about true facts about the fox.
Also, just if you want, if you want to move in a bit, so you are in frame.
All right. So this is a lot of information, but you don't need to know all of this information. All you need to know is that this is a fox, and foxes are awesome. Foxes are made up of many special features and parts that allow them to become the most successful, the most powerful animal on the planet. They have these snaggly eyes. They have a stylish red suit that lets them camouflage. And when they're near red stuff, they have sly stockings that let them move quietly. Why are foxes the true master race? They've done a lot of interesting stuff. They've invented electricity. We wouldn't have this presentation without foxes. So you might be wondering, why should I care? Why should I have a fox in my life? Well, they're playful. They're like dogs. They're like cats. They're cute. You can cuddle them, and for some reason you can own them. They have. You also may have wondered, what does the fox say? They yelp, they growl, they bark, and they howl. They do celebrity voice impersonations. They're just generally awesome. They say a lot of stuff. See? Look, there's all kinds of foxes. There's this is cute. See, foxes are cute. There's other stuff. Yeah. Foxes are so awesome that they can be found in nearly any movie across all of Disney. Some of them appear in powerful films that challenge social prejudice, like Zootopia. Some of them appear in new retellings of classic and timeless fairy tales, like Honest John and Pinocchio. Some of them are cute, like this guy, Todd. So not a lot of people know this, but foxes can sometimes look like people. These foxes have used their awesome abilities as foxes to make the world a better place. They've freed slaves and they've invented what? Okay, yeah. They've invented airplanes so we can fly around the world and see more foxes. They've
Did Batman?
yeah, sure. They've been real life superstars. They've created some really good movies and some really bad movies. They've created some books which you can read if you have several years, and are good. Some of them are very, very scary and very bad. This is an example of one of those. You you try to avoid him, and you try not to be killed by him in a very, very scary game. Okay. Yeah, this is not a fox, but it's similar to foxes in that it's awesome and cute.
Why are they doing spooky, scary skeleton dance?
Well, you see, foxes have skeletons because they're animals. And while their skeletons don't look like that, it's a close enough approximation because their skeletons are also spooky and they're also scary.
As an expert on foxes, how do I properly do a shine spike?
I don't know what that is, but if you ask a fox, they can tell you because they're smart.
It makes too much sense as to what this is broadcasted on in the bottom left corner, because this is reminiscent of the Six Tails.
This is NBC.
But look at the symbol. It's reminiscent of the six-tailed fox.
It's a peacock.
It's a peacock, not a nine-tails.
That's what the government wants you to think.
Really, the peacock wasn't inspired.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Let's get serious about it. Let's get
Please
serious.
don't put the left on upside down.
No, I'm getting really serious. Really
Hey,
serious.
Logan, you were at Troops Karaoke. Should I give him the RockCon one or the D&D one? What was the first one? The RockCon one or the
D&D.
Go D&D. All right.
RockCon. I don't know if enough people here have been to RockCon.
Well, yeah, I appreciated it having never come to RockCon. That's fair to say. But no, you're right. This was a good call because this is reaching sci-fi and fantasy.
Yes.
With physics and D&D.
Yes. Magic is just a further form of, is a science that probably is quantum manipulation. And today we are going to discuss the physics of breast 1 and breast 2. Falling to your death. I mean, with gravity, with any sort of motivation, the best way to be able to defy gravity is to remember how great it is to have left your ex-wife. Falling. Well, this is sort of an extension of our last statement. And the average adult human male's terminal velocity in real life is that number, an imperial measurement, of which I think I think we should switch to what. I don't remember that being a part of the presentation. I thought I clearly said the metric system, Jerry. Its numbers don't matter when it comes to that. Falling. I mean, I remember that. I remember hearing about that. I think really, you really can get out. The common canon. What is canon? What is canon? What is canon? Cayman. What is the canon Cayman? It's obviously the commoner that is canon. That is relevant to all born. Wait, so the peasants are in armor. I don't know why it's specifically sadistic mage. It wouldn't be just any mage. So you mean, so to have a commoner canon, you need to line them all up as a means to make sure that
they deliver almost as if they're performing a football hut among each individual, and the velocity will be built up so much that I'll just slide through this entire slideshow too quickly. When the rock reaches the last one, it'll travel 10,000 Rebecca's in 6. Time is an illusion. That way, if that rock weighed a lot, I can't even lift a marshmallow. That Ford Pinto, I used to have a Ford Pinto, and then I brought it to the car smash. Horse. If you want to know about horse teleportation, just look to that one drawing, Draw My Life, or that drawing game, and it's a funny video by Video Game Ducky. It's very funny, much fun. No one is allowed to tame an animal. Tommy, horse fast travel. I remember that one manga that involves transmission of transportation. You just put it up to your forehead, and then you have a horse appear right next to you. But if you do it incorrectly, it will be a donkey covered in onions. I'm another number. I mean, I grew up in America. That numbers are like they're like grains of rice. Horse, back to horse, back to horse, back to horse. There's horse. That's a horse. And that's a horse. That's not a horse. Line up these horses, except for that one, and you'll start D20. I like that computer model by HP. If you ride skill high, you'll all succeed. It's the very pinnacle of the end. It's just the feat of all feats. And now congratulations. You just traveled an infinite distance in 6 yesterday, provided you could get enough to stand still, stoop, step, slip, slop. Don't play whatever that number is. I don't. Just play that and that model. I know the economy in that is shit, but it's better than having to spend 3 hours calculating you use a tax bonus every round. Horseback to horseback to horseback.
All right, I'm gonna give that to Logan.
Logan Bogan. Get the Logan Bogan.
I believe so.
How about? So I'm assuming this isn't one that was shown at Troop because Logan was there.
Yeah, this isn't one from Troop. Well, I use one that was fine. Just a moment, it is failing to load.
So as we see here, we have darkness. It is very dark.
Isn't this just a space one again?
No, the space one had colors. This one does not.
Is that Dark Adam?
All right.
The true 100% rating by
It's made of very dark Adam.
This is one of the finest presentations from the history of Star PowerPoint Karaoke.
Oh boy.
Logan, take it away.
Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain. Why is he climbing a mountain? Find out right now, hopefully. Who knows? Well, I do, because I'm expert. In this seminar, Kirk's stated positions. Statements from Kirk, chief spokesman. Unwarranted blah, blah, blah. English. A new educated theory. These are all long words that are going over my head right now. Now, according to Jim, because it's there. That's why he's climbing a mountain. End of slide. Presentation. Just kidding. Moving on. Extrapolations 1. Permanences. Has existed for millions of years. Will continue to exist for millions of years. Insecurity. I'm just spouting out words right now. Permeances. 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 That's the mountain, by the way. That's the mountain he has to climb.
So it's a metaphor?
Yes. Yes. What the metaphor is for losing hair and permeances. This is a PR statement. A statement by our very own Star PR. All right, which you can come on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Right here.
Around the corner.
Around the corner. I'm in here at the building. And their statement is to hug mountain. The only way to conquer a mountain is to hug it. Why? Because hugs solve everything. Extrapolation B-/2. Intimacy. Hugs are intimate. You can't get any intimate than a hug. Theory suggests prolonged close contact. Innocuous, but demonstrates intent. What intent? Troubling. Mountains cannot return affection. You can give the hug, but it cannot return the affection back to you. So all you can do is keep giving a hug. Kirk knows this, but he pursues this anyway. Plus, as going on the statement, he must constantly returns the hugs to the mountain. Our PR statement part 2. Envelop that mountain with extrapolation 3 or C, because it rhymes, I guess. I don't know. Aggression. Hugs may not be enough. You must envelop, surround, engulf, smother, overwhelm with your hugs. So it's both passionate and aggressive. Much like a mother's love. Need for control, power, and even over nature itself. Vindicated. Again, this is Kirk, conquering a mountain. Part 3. He wants to make love to the mountain. He does this through hugs. Again, there's nothing more intimate than a hug. And now we're on to extrapolation 4, or D, or ID. Delusions of grandeur. Now, Captain Kirk, he's a captain of a ship. An enterprise, if you will, I guess. It's been a while since I've seen Star Wars. He sees himself as being a kid to the mountain. And the mountain, back towards the metaphor of losing hair. To just a merging of man and mountain. Further expressions of aggressive, predatory nature. And the evidence to that? Drawn by the permeances of the rock face. Subconscious desire to resist hair loss. It's all coming together. Consists close contact likely. Hugs. Desire to overpower and oppress. This is Captain Kirk we're talking about. And dissatisfaction with nature's state. Narcissistic tendencies included.
intention to merge man and mountain into one. Or eventually they'll call it Kirkmore. I know, I'm bad at names. Don't judge me. Yes, Kirkmore. And there we have it. Or Kirk Rock. That's probably better. I don't know why he's dressed like that. What? Okay. Unanswered questions. Location discrepancy. The actual mountain Captain Kirk is climbing and Mount Rushmore, they're in separate locations. How? How are they both existing simultaneously? I'm simply lost to this and to his whole presentation in general. But yet a sign of respect towards a twisted mind that all of this is eventually coming up, and to the respect that Kirk could take on a mountain. And the greater signs of narcissism that has come with him having a private monument towards his own narcissism. And in future works, this practical demonstration shows that rock sculpting via carefully tuned phaser blasts are great, confirming Kirk's true motives, which are cardiism interrogation involving series of lights, and lectures from Jean-Luc Picard regarding the first duty of any Starfleet officer. Applications of Romulan mind probing technology. Queries. That's it. Although the bigger question is, what the hell is this presentation?
I did it. Oh yeah, you were the one originally.
Captain Kirk is climbing the mountain.
So we not heard the song?
No, that's why you got the presentation.
It's the opening to Star Trek V, where Captain Kirk is climbing a mountain.
Why is he climbing a mountain?
To hug the mountain. To envelop that mountain.
To be the mountain.
So, Logan, if I may ask a query.
Sure.
Would you say Captain Kirk would agree with Picard's previous statement that the first duty of any Starfleet officer is to the truth?
No, I would say his first duty is to climb a mountain and to hug it. Based on this presentation, if you were listening.
Huh? You can save it until after he was done presenting.
Oh, it wasn't fun.
Any other queries anyone want to bring up?
Who you call queer?
Thank you very much, Logan. Give us a round of applause for Logan and for all our presenters. And also a huge thank you to everyone who submitted presentations that were presented today. Even me. Everyone. You are part of everyone. Thank you all very much. And finally, let's hand back to Cameron.
So, yep, just some quick closing announcements to everyone. Reminder that PR committee meets Wednesday at 8 p.m. around the corner, where we're going to do a lot of really fun PR, like media creation sorts of things. So get your creative outlet on this Wednesday. Surface committee meets Sundays at 12 in the Mosaic Room, which is around the corner even more. Help us make our sci-fi convention a reality. And finally, Snowfest Cosplay Troops convention is already happening this weekend. So come play Artemis with us, come hang out, whether or not you have a cosplay, there's still plenty of things for you to do in or out of costume. One of those things is play Artemis with us. So I will see you all probably at one of those things. Please come, I miss seeing you all.
Yeah, and I heard there's a really cool chess show that you can check out if you are age appropriate.
Yes.
But is it a Carson?
Spoilers. It couldn't possibly be.
All right. Thank you,
and good night.